Awkward silence.
We're waiting on you.
Yeah, you're the host.
Yeah, you're the one who's supposed to do the 2 count.
Oh, God, this is how the campaign's going to go.
Welcome to Campfire, everybody. I'm your host, Anvil, the all-consuming flame of gluttony.
Otherwise,
And today I am joined by Perun.
Farron.
Farron, sorry.
Yep, it's Chronicles all over again. Still can't pronounce the name. What's up, guys?
All right, and I don't know the rest of the characters' names yet.
How about you just say our real names and then we introduce our characters?
That would be smart.
All right.
Hey, back from the first season of Chronicles of the Lost Realm, it's Zeph again. However, this time I will not be gracing your phones or headphones or however you listen to the Chronicles of the Lost Realm with Billy Knoll, because sadly, at the end of last season, Billy Knoll is no more.
And there was much rejoicing.
He's actually, I was kind of growing tired of the character, so I was actually a little happy when he did it.
Oh, he was getting tired of the character.
I really was. Like, Billy was so low effort. Like, I didn't even try when I made him. Which brings us to the character I'm going to be playing for this next season, is we're going to be seeing the introduction of my character, Akla Temrek.
And what is
Akla? Akla is a wizard with a particular penchant for causing problems. He was expelled from the Mages College after one too many incidents of accidentally blowing up the headmaster's office. And he's not a bad dude. He really tries. He really tries hard to be good and just wants to practice magic and do it right. It's just for whatever reason, some reason he's never been able to figure out, and none of the other mages at the college could ever figure out. Every single spell he casts has some sort of chaotic effect attached to it. Every single one.
Why am I envisioning Seamus from Harry Potter?
It's that
maybe because that's exactly who you're envisioning. and that's the D&D version of his character, and we are all fucked.
If anyone has watched the anime Konosuba, it's actually the character is kind of a blend between Seamus from Harry Potter and Megumin from Konosuba.
This will be fun. All right, so that's Keith. Next.
All right, Josh.
Hey everyone, my name's Josh Wilson. You also know me as UA Black Wings on Press A Gaming and on Journey to the East. This is my first time joining our campaign here, and I will be playing a half-elf sorcerer named Awen. Not much is known about our guy yet because, well, I'm still making him as we go along. But I can tell you that chances are if you need him, he can be found in the local tavern, either with a drink in his hand or a lady on his head.
What kind of bloodline is your sorcerer, or is that spoilery?
We're going to say spoilery because I don't know yet.
Oh.
He hasn't really written the backstory yet.
For the record, I'm going to give everyone complete disclosure. I have only done one campaign before this, and it lasted for 3 weeks.
You had to pick a bloodline for character creation. So you did pick a bloodline, yeah?
I don't know.
Because that's where you get all your class features from.
Are you basically meaning since he's a half elf, is like half what type of elf, half what's the other half? Is that what you mean by bloodline?
Well, no. The way the sorcerer class works is you have a bloodline, and that specifies what kind of magic you get, what kind of feats you get. because like they have the Draconic bloodline, they have I believe the Abyssal bloodline, and then there's actually one for that's a homebrew version, kind of close to what I've got, which is a Chaos Magic bloodline.
He used an auto builder,
Yep.
so I wouldn't be surprised if he missed the bloodline. But not like he didn't get it, but like he didn't realize.
Oh wait, no, wait. Draconic bloodline.
Okay, cool.
That's gonna be fun.
Well, there you go. Now we know. And guess what? That's the first time I ever heard any of it because we have another.
Go ahead. I can speak Draconic. Cool. I'm gonna add that to my thing.
Because we also have another returning character from the original incarnation of the Stumble crew. Joe.
No.
Hey, everybody, this is Joe Cahill. I will be replaying Milwood Apabelfinor Fianna, a human wizard, backgrounding as a sage. He is a member of the Wizards of Varesh and is looking forward to his nickname of Artillery.
And what is your bloodline? Something we never knew before.
I will have to go and figure that out one time. Because I've never heard of it before either.
Melwood, you're a wizard. You don't have a bloodline. That's a sorcerer thing.
Well, there we go.
Wizards get their magic from study.
Stop confusing the issue, Chris.
What the fuck do I know? I swing swords.
Yeah, you swing both ways and you know it.
I am ambidextrous, and I am an elf. So I mean, what can I say?
I actually did play a campaign once where I played a fighter that part of his overarching goals for the campaign was to get a hold of a spell book of magic missile, so he could learn that specific spell.
Which is rudimentary. All magic users only need to know 3 spells: Big B's Crushing Hand, Magic Missile, and Fireball. Anything else is just rudimentary.
Just Fireball. Only Fireball. Nothing but Fireball.
I'm sorry. What was that other one that you said? You said Fireball. You said Magic Missile.
Big B's Crushing Hand.
I'm gonna have to look through my spells and see if I can't find that because I don't have that.
That's assuming the Big B's list is still available in 5e. I'm talking 2nd edition.
Oh, right.
Big floating hand that can grab stuff and crush it.
I was gonna say I've got 2 of those 3. I don't have all of them though.
It's like Mage Man on steroids.
And of course, real quick, I'll go ahead and throw mine in. I'm Chris, and I played Ferran from the first season, the half drow, half moon elf, son of Nimtake Thonalis, ranger, ambidextrous, using 2 short swords, and a severe substance abuse problem.
Bisexual. He dual wield, bisexual icon. He really does swing both ways.
And as of time, we obviously we're going to kind of put her on the spot a little bit here, but we have a new character that, like, as of 10 minutes ago, has agreed to be a part of it. Would she like to come on and maybe she can't give a name or anything yet, but she has in mind for her contribution to the Stumble crew.
Well,
It's the mystery. I got nothing, so you have to let me figure this out. And it's gonna be a surprise to everybody, including myself.
it's okay. We'll crack open the player's handbook later, and we'll get her sorted.
Right on. Well, still we have another one, and then of course we got to give credit to our host and let him explain a little bit about himself and his style. Our new DM, Mr. Anvil, the all-consuming flame of gluttony.
Yes, so I've played a decent amount of D&D throughout high school and college, but I have been out of it for quite some time. The majority of my experience was in 3.0, and I've really never DM'd an entire campaign ever. I've DM'd like 1 or 2 nights total. So we'll see how that goes.
Lots and lots of one-shots.
I did play a lot of all flesh must be eaten. So which is sort of D&D but shorter campaigns. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping you guys will work with me, and I feel like there's going to be a bunch of mulligans.
Nah, rule of cool rules all in Chronicles of the Lost Realm.
And to be fair, because we will be streaming this for our fans and everything, we got to kind of treat the story arc as like golf. You play the ball where it lies.
Right?
Yeah.
So to our listeners, if there's a flub, a mistake, or a wrong, it's now canon. We have to deal with it.
Right. Yep. Well, everybody died. That was my bad, guys. I thought you could handle that. I was
Actually
really wrong.
That's not what happened to Billy.
No, Billy was planned. I'm not gonna lie. I knew the last DM wanted the cliffhanger episode to have somebody die. I don't know if it was originally supposed to be Billy or not. In fact,
Yes.
In fact, I do know that he was planning on one of us biting the bullet. And quite honestly, part of the reason I played Ferran the way I did that last episode is I was kind of expecting it to be him.
I don't think that our old DM intended for Billy to be the one to bite the bullet. I know he intended for one of us to bite the bullet, but when the dragon attacked and did twice Billy's total hit points, we just knew it was over. It was destiny.
Well, if it does make you feel any better, obviously with the new DM, we're going to be moving the storyline further into the future. And if it makes you feel any better about Billy Knowles, Ferran feels terrible about his death. He actually kept the broken pieces of the hurdy-gurdy that he has on a mantelpiece as a reminder of his friend. So he actually did care about Billy. And they still used what's left of your body to cool the drinks at the bar.
Oh, that place is totally getting haunted.
Wow. Nix opens up the ice chest. There's just a half decomposing Billy in there.
Yeah, but you got
Chunks of
blasted.
him missing.
Yeah, but you got blasted so hard by that frost giant. Fucking years later, you're still giving off cold radiation.
He's permafroze, like the permafrost, but
Hey, look, it's medieval times. Ice is hard to come by.
Oh, man, at that point, I can't blame you.
they're like whiskey stones. They stay cold forever.
Man, you are lucky Billy can't haunt you.
He says he can't.
The way he's designed, I will talk to you about that later. Like this is already canon, Anvil, which goes into the thing of like all canon moving forward for season 2. Even though we have a new DM, anything that's already canon is staying canon.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
he's
I will
got to
talk to you about
describe.
that later. But
He's got to describe. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
there are parts of Billy that are already canon, which dictate what you can do with the character.
Right. So.
All right, so essentially where we left off, I'll take over from here. Storyline-wise, where we left off with Chronicles of the Lost Realm was obviously the Stumble crew consisted of myself, Melwood, Valhalla, who was an elf assassin for the Raven Queen, the Blighted Crow, who was a plague doctor, Billy Knowles, who is now my ice chest, and we were trying to confront what we thought was the evil queen of Varesh, who was at the opportunity time trying to capture the dancing hut of Baba Yaga, who Billy Hillman and Ferran were originally commissioned by Baba Yaga to defeat the evil queen. We were led to believe an evil queen. Defeat her and her evil hand to free the world because she was trying to use these mystical runic stones to resurrect the demon world, open a portal to the demon realm, and have demons overtake the land again. Unbeknownst to us, we were played the whole fucking time. And during that skirmish and battlement, trying to get to the Queen of Varesh, and when they captured Baba Yaga, they we tried to get involved. We tried to get answers when we discovered that, wait a minute, we're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And shit just went to hell.
Yes, you were.
And shit just went to hell. Now, playing off of that, just to catch everybody up, obviously the last episode ended on a cliffhanger. It was intended that season 2 would pick up where that left off originally. However, we no longer have that DM. And in fairness to that DM and the way he wanted to go, when Anvil opted to go ahead and take over control of Chronicles of the Lost Realm as a DM, we had opted to decide that this skirmish that had cost Billy his life, although still canon, would be fast-forwarded in time to a couple months afterwards. So you guys may have seen a prelude to Season 2 that we released talking about where time had, at that battle skirmish, while the Frost Dragon was dealing with the Stumble crew and the Queen's Hand army was trying to get the rest of the members, and chaos ensued in the town square, Baba Yaga was actually able to escape with the dancing hut. And because of which, the queen called off her forces and the dragon, saying that I'll deal with this at another time, and took off. As that happened, obviously the remaining members of the Stumble crew decided to disband their fellowship and moved on to other things. Melwood and Valhalla returned to the Raven Queen. The Blighted Crow continued his research on the plague. So on and so forth. Ferran stayed in Varesh to help try to repair the damage and try to atone for the wrongs that has been visited upon these people from our actions. And that is where our DM is picking up from. So just to catch you guys up to speed, and the reason I gave you that up to speed is so that way our DM can now tell us some of the things that he may have ideas of or plans for moving forward.
Yes. So you can definitely expect to see the Queen again. That's sort of come to the conclusion that I'm definitely going to be bringing that back. I figured it would be wrong to just sort of take this world that the previous DM created and just be like, well, we're going to ignore everything that was done before. So you can expect the Queen to be back. Baba Yaga as well. I haven't decided how I'm going to play that in yet, but I've decided it's going to happen.
All right.
But the biggest thing that is going to happen is you guys are going to be introduced to a new major player in the grand scheme of things, who is a half dwarf, half storm giant. So go ahead and let me paint a mental picture for you. Imagine a 4-foot male mating with a 26-foot female.
As I said, she didn't even notice.
hey, it takes the idea of BBW to a brand new aspect.
No, it brings Death by Snoo to a whole new level.
Oh, dear God, please tell me she wasn't on top.
Yeah, it's a particularly well-endowed dwarf.
Yeah, but I'm just envisioning a dwarf needing a 20-foot ladder just to have doggy style.
Oh, that's so wrong.
If it's so wrong, why does it feel so right?
She looks back and says, "Feel what?"
That's what I'm saying. 9 months later, she's like, "Wait, I'm pregnant."
At least he'll never have the problem of going in the wrong hole.
Unless he slips and falls in.
Yeah, he's still there.
I don't know if you know what a Mexican shower is, but like, imagine that.
All right, I'll bite.
So-
What's a Mexican shower?
No.
The whole head in, not the lower head, the upper head.
Ooh. That gives whole new meaning to refried beans. See, this is what happens when I'm sober.
So, that's a character that's going to be a major player in this season. His name is going to be Perun, and if you're not familiar with Slavic mythology, I would definitely suggest doing a little research into it. He's loosely based on, the Slavic god Perun, but he is very much a product of the two races that he was made of, meaning that he is super prejudiced against dragons. One, because he's half dwarf, and the dwarves are historically against dragons. They tend to eat them. The dragons eat the dwarves, not the other way around.
I would imagine
and
for
the fall-
Lord of the Rings fans, dwarves have problems with dragons too because they like to hoard riches and dwarves mine it.
Exactly. And then as a storm dragon, or as a storm giant, all of the giants really hold extreme prejudice against dragons for the countless wars that they had over millennia. And it has long been believed and attributed the fall of the giants to the dragons. So, needless to say, Perun is endlessly against dragons and anything dragon related.
So, with that being said, out of curiosity, can you tell us, are we going to have a lot of interaction with dragons?
Maybe not.
Well, I mean, it hasn't worked out well for the parties in any of the iterations of the Lost Realm. Chronicles of the Lost Realm, obviously, we talked about what happened to Billy. And there was a dragon, which Melwood is very familiar with. There was a dragon incursion in Four Corners of Hell that didn't turn out all too well for the party either.
Well, without going into too much information here, as something that Keith helped me figure out before we went live, based off of what my character's bloodline is, and I'm just doing a little bit of reading on it while we're talking here, I actually might be able to make things a little interesting if we do run into any dragons. So,
yes, but keep in mind, being able to speak dragon tongue is probably going to earn you some negative points with Perun.
well, you can't have everybody like you.
That's why when you said Draconis, I was like, oh, very interesting.
Well, and to be fair, on top of that, something else that I just found out is apparently anytime I do a charisma check against me interacting with a dragon, my proficiency bonus is doubled.
Fair.
So, and my charisma is pretty high as is, so I think that would be pretty fun to just try.
Pretty boy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is he really one of those, like, prima donna wizards?
No, sorcerers roll off of charisma.
Like, is he Justin Bieber in a robe? Like, be honest.
Oh, there we go.
No!
That's going to
This might be the
stick.
first one to
Everything in my
die.
power for that not to happen.
That is going to stick.
So,
Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. I need to buy some absinthe after that. Oh my god. No.
Just
Hey,
rub
Bieber, what, you want to take this one?
He can't be Bieber because Bieber has like a 6 in charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but how many billion copies did he sell of him literally just saying baby over again.
Well, wait a minute. We're talking about a good-looking guy. He's a ladies' man. I've got to ask: does he have a drinking problem? Because your dude said he could be seen at a tavern drinking. Does he have a drinking problem? Is he a connoisseur?
Not so much so that he's stumbling around drunk and a master of drunken kung fu or anything like that. But I mean, he will be intoxicated every time that you guys go to town.
Billy, is that you?
So he literally, instead of Bieber, he's David Hasselhoff.
He's the ass. All right.
Keep him away from
Stop
cheeseburgers. Keep him away from cheeseburgers.
David Bieber.
David Bieber. There's your character name.
On the note of my style, you guys can definitely expect to encounter some very unusual challenges. Let me rephrase that. Don't expect anything to be what it is. Don't expect to be told straight. Don't expect to know what's coming next. And hell, half the time I won't even know what's coming next because I'm a pretty big fan of just winging it.
Do I look like I'm a character that's going to be expecting what's coming next? My character is chaos incarnate.
Well, we're definitely going to be delving into the characters a little bit more and letting everybody give a chance to like tell more of their backstories, because obviously that won't, I assume, will not be explored as much as we're moving forward in the season. That being said, however, the next question I do have for our DM is, how does it feel, and even more so, how does it play in for you to step into a world that, although this wasn't initially your world created, because it is a homebrew world where the map has not even been really drawn out, maybe a couple areas from season 1, but overall, even the continent has not yet been explored. Its lore has not really been revealed yet. How much does that hinder or help you in the story you're coming up with?
I find it to be more of a boon than a hindrance, simply because it gives me the freedom of not having to look back and figure out what happened and where this is and where that is and how close are they to this. I can sort of build it as I go, and it makes my life a lot easier.
Excellent. And just to let everybody know, we got joined by another character.
Oh God, that is hot.
Real quick, Chris Rudder has joined us, Xavier Zeus the Fourth.
That's right. The other three weren't good enough.
The other 3 weren't good enough.
All right. He is definitely not dying first. Sorry, UA. It's looking like it's you.
No.
I mean, you've got him, and then you've got my character who was voted most likely to cause a TPK in high school.
And then you got Farron who will take on a god and walk away surviving. He'll walk underneath a frost dragon drunk, and the dragon will ignore him. But more likely, he's going to die from falling off his own bar stool.
Hey, as long as it's into the lovely arms of the busty tavern wench, he doesn't care.
Farron falls off his stool. We hear a sickening crack, and we don't call the cleric.
Well, fuck it. He had that coming. No. So anyway, real quick before we have the DM continue his look into the world of the Lost Realm, let's introduce our new character. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit of something about Xavier?
Yeah, Xavier Zeus is from the Highlands. He's a high elf who has taken a turn for the worse. He took the oath to become a paladin, only to turn the powers to dark, and he is now an anti-paladin. Picture an Nazgul.
Ooh. So wait,
he just fits in great.
I've got to ask, alignment.
Lawful chaotic.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He's straight up chaotic, man.
But like chaotic,
like
good,
it.
evil,
Insane.
neutral.
It's neutral. He doesn't care where and how he causes the chaos. He just causes chaos wherever he goes.
I like that because I've made characters like that, and I like to call it chaotic.
Yeah.
Because everything he does is merely for the chaos of it.
Yeah, in a lot of instances, he's just as apt to flip a coin to see what he's going to do next. So yeah, that's basically how he rolls. And picture everything that a paladin does, and then reverse it. Instead of healing people, I hurt people.
I can dig it.
Well, shit, and you're our only healer.
Sunshines, brother, I hurt people.
And shit, you're our only cleric.
And he's a dark cleric too.
Well, he's a paladin, yeah.
I might need to go back into town to get more health gear.
Yeah, it might be smart. So anyway, back to Anvil, real quick. So you were saying like the open page, the blank canvas of the world of the Lost Realm.
Yes. So I really like the blank canvas because it sort of opens me up to be able to just sort of wing it. I don't have to look back and revert to 12 different things and try to make sure that I'm not stepping on the toes of what happened before. And it sort of gives me, free range, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, the only thing he has to abide to is 18 previous episodes. 16
Right.
because you don't have to necessarily pay attention to the prelude episodes.
Anvil prefers his party's free range.
Exactly. I'm
Now,
a winging it kind of a guy.
now you have been listening to season 1. I will ask this pretty much of everybody who has listened to it, which excludes obviously Zepp and Joe because they lived it.
Yeah, I was going to say I've never listened to it.
But they've lived it. How much for each of you, starting with the DM? How much is it an excitement to step into this world, knowing how the characters portrayed, how the world has been fleshed out, and becoming part of this crew, this Stumble crew, or the story of the Stumble crew in the case of Anvil? Don't everybody
Anvil.
jump at
Sorry, was
once.
that a question for me?
That was a question
Yeah.
for everybody, but I started with you. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rephrase that. I was making kissy faces at my fiance.
Oh, there you go.
Jesus.
That pretty much answers my question. No, since you've been digging into the catalog of the first season, how much excitement is it for you to step into this world that has been fleshed out in season 1 with these characters and their quirks and personalities that you've heard thus far and the adventures that you've heard thus far, and looking to further the story of the Stumble crew?
So I'm looking forward to it quite thoroughly, especially since it's something that's already been started. So it gives me somewhere to jump off of. I don't have to try to create the starting point. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out, because I was listening to, I've gotten like 5 episodes in, I think.
Okay.
Not very far. And I enjoyed the way that everybody sort of interacted, and especially how you guys seem to get into character. I like that. I quite enjoyed that. It almost felt like you were playing you, not necessarily a character.
Right. All right.
Well, some of us have had a long time experience in this role-playing thing.
That's actually one of the reasons why I wasn't so broken up when Billy died, was because I kind of felt the whole way that Billy was kind of a 2-dimensional character.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that, because the way I played Ferran was because of people like you and Hillman, and then obviously subsequently the later characters like the Blooded Crow. They were so off the wall that it almost seemed reasonable that I had to play Ferran, as the way I described it to people when they listen to the shows is, if everybody else was Costello, Ferran was Abbott. You know, he was the straight man who had to deal with the antics of the comedic relief. So really, Ferran's personality, where if you listen to the Prelude shows, where he was a little bit more adventurous and dare I say kiddish, was designed because you guys were so out there that I felt that Ferran had to be the kind of stern parent character.
All right.
He had to be the voice of reason.
Which is really funny considering how his story arc went.
Yeah, let's all just go visit hell. You know, why not?
You may get a chance to not have to be the voice of reason with Akla, because Akla has a more reserved personality than Billy, simply because his entire life of trying to learn magic, he causes lots and lots of explosions.
Well,
and among other issues.
say, don't we all?
Well,
and same can kind of be said for Awen. I mean, yeah, he's very enjoys his drink and he enjoys his women, but when it gets down to the quest and when it gets down to when things actually need to be serious, he actually will flip that switch and he will take things seriously. He's not all jokes all the time. That's what rest time's for. But when the cards are down, he's actually really on top of his shit.
all right. How about Melwood?
How about him? He's kind of level-headed. As we know, he only drinks a good fine wine or scotch. He's no longer secretly working for the Raven Queen. That's pretty much out in the open.
Yeah. I recently, before doing this episode, I listened to that last episode, the season finale, where I thoroughly loved yours and my interaction with each other, arguing over whether the queen was evil or not. And I told you to ask your queen then why she sent us to kill her, and you were like, "Fine, I will." And I throw you the fucking quill, and you're just like, "Why we got to kill the fucking queen and just throw the quill?" Like the way you and I played it off was just like,
Yeah. Would you listen to me? No, you listen to me.
I was getting a kick out of it listening to it. Like, Jesus, we played that really well.
Me trying to talk to Dragon. Stand still. I want to draw you.
especially when the Raven returned and our DM, you were interacting with the DM and you were like, the Raven lands and saying you talk to it and it's like, okay, what do you want? He's like, well, answer the fucking question. And it's a yes or no question, and the Raven's like, or there's two commas.
Yeah, motherfucker.
It was really that whole entire thing was like designed to fucking piss off Melwood. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the previous DM had in mind. the level-headed, cool wizard, faces down dragons and everything. Oh, let's have him get into it with Farron.
And
regularly faces down dragons without fear. A raven gives him trouble.
Yeah. Well, it's a silver raven. It's a little token.
Then again, corvids are pretty smart birds, and they're pretty trollish as well.
Nevermore. But okay, so we have those personalities, and of course I've already described Ferran enough. As much as in season 1 he was more of the parent figure, I see him being more of the problem child in this season. But let's meet our other newcomer, Xavier. How's his personality?
Aloof, very reserved. But at the same time, I'm usually the first one to start a fight.
Okay.
So that's going to be an interesting dynamic for this new Stumble crew. Which raises
it's gotta be something.
Go ahead.
It's got to be something else. The Stumble crew is the original.
It's still the Stumble crew.
That was named for particular adventures that the original crew went on.
No,
So
it
this
wasn't.
new
It was named because of season 3. Or, excuse me, episode 3. It was named because you and I and Hillman decided to get out of a busy bar. We would act like we were drunk and go on a stumble quest.
Yeah, like that specific event to those characters. That's why it was the hashtag Stumble Crew.
Well, it wasn't us that gave us that name. It was our listeners. So, really, I'd say it's up to them. Let them meet the crew, and if they decide the Stumble Crew is no longer the appropriate name for this incarnation, then that's up to them.
Beaver's Boys.
Beaver's
Fair
Boys.
enough.
The Hoff Crew.
Tiny mortals.
Be careful who you put lightly in magic school.
Yeah, this is a question to each and every one of you guys. Especially not just the returning characters, the DM, but also the new characters. What are you most looking forward to out of season 2? The story arc, the battle system, the character interactions. Like, what gets you most excited about thinking about starting this season of Chronicles of the Lost Realm?
My wild surge random roll table.
This is the part where I should admit that due to work and other obligations, I never listened to any of the first arc.
Oh!
So I'm going into this super blind.
Well, the nice thing is outside of when the DM brings callback to season 1, it really shouldn't matter to a lot of the new characters. In fact, right now, as it stands,
wouldn't be character knowledge.
right,
Really, just listen to the final episode.
right, and really, where it stands, the only 2 characters that would have any real knowledge of episode or season 1 would be Melwood and Ferran.
And I mean that's I'm kind of in the same boat as her. I was going to be watching everything just so I can have an idea of things to come. But honestly, I'm thinking that I'm not going to, because my character is not going to have any real idea of anything that happened beforehand. So I figured that works good for me as well.
Well, I think Joe had it right. For most of the characters, I think within the realm, they would have heard of the battle at Varesh and how Baba Yaga escaped. In fairness to everybody, the dragon showed up. So it might be smart to at least hear the final episode, where everything came to a head, because I would imagine that would be talk of the town within the Lost Realm. But beyond that, like, you guys don't need to know about our time spent with the druids playing games or you know, or some of the other silliness.
Oh, and I forgot to mention my buddy.
Okay, what's your buddy?
You remember the guy who hangs out but no longer grants me wishes.
Oh yeah,
But calls me boss.
That was a water elemental or a water genie, right?
A genie, water genie.
Oh, that dude.
Yep, likes to hang out with me.
The dude that
will occasionally do me favors.
The dude that almost killed Billy.
Well, that was part of the plan, but
I'm starting
the DM got him in the end.
Billy and water just don't mix.
No.
At least not frozen water.
So that, if you listen to the previous season, you will all hear about him. I guess I'm going to have to finally break down and kind of name him and provide Anvil with a copy of him so he knows what he is.
Well, create your character. Give him a character sheet, but I'm sorry, he's got to be Bob.
Bob.
Was that a Dresden Files reference?
Yeah, give him a character sheet, and if you need any help with the homebrew for because turning a monster into a playable character, just let me know. I can see if I can figure something out with it.
I don't know if I would call him a playable character. I think he'd be more like a familiar.
Yeah,
kind of what happened. Got stuck with him as a familiar. Which, the first time I've had a genie familiar in oodles of years of gaming. Since my first D&D set was in a cardboard box packaged out of Gary's garage.
Yeah, when we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, what you have to understand is Mr. Cahill is, for lack of better term, he could describe it better than I can, but I would almost call him like the beta tester of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty close. Yeah. Gary
He's been
Gygax
around
was still
since,
packaging them in the garage.
So he's been around since
Inception.
version 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it was a pamphlet
Clay
instead
dice
of a...
that broke as soon as you started using them. Chipping.
when the player's handbook was all but a pamphlet instead of a $60 monstrosity.
When mom and dad had to have a you're not becoming a Satan worshiper talk with you.
Right. After that stupid
he's from the
60-minute
era
special.
when he's from the era when Gary Gygax's wife sent a private investigator out to find out what he was up to.
Yep.
So if you anvil on the opposite end of the coin, if you need any help figuring things out, being a for lack of a better term, a first time DM, Joe's kind of the guy to go to because he's known D&D since the beginning.
I am on board for that now. Yes.
D&D, Traveler, Shadowrun, if you Cyberpunk, Car Wars, played them all.
Twilight 2000, you know.
Oh, Twilight 2000, yeah, which is kind of an oxymoron now, since we're 20 years past when it was supposed to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what.
20
man.
years past,
Even ones you guys probably haven't heard of, like the Morrow Project, which is kind of like the suspended team. They're supposed to wake up in 5 years, and they don't for 50 or 100 or 500, and find a ravaged Earth, kind of a thing. So yeah, if you could think of a game, there's a good chance I've played it.
Excellent.
All right.
The newest
and
version
I'm only in my
of Star
50s,
Wars. the newest versions
Star
of
Wars.
Star Wars. Because I'm still trying to figure out the
I
dice
got to
system.
and that's my hometown. Is George Lucas's hometown.
Marin County.
So out here,
Yeah, there you go.
So it's been a lot of fun, but I am going to have to bail because I have another show we're going to start doing. So if you guys want to jump on and listen to War of the Stars one day, I wouldn't be upset.
I'm supposed to work with Mark one day to guest on it. He had invited me. We just never set a date yet. So tell everybody I say what's up.
I sure will, and I will remind him.
All right, cool.
Actually,
All right, great talking with
War
you.
of the Stars is actually a Realm of the Mist alumni.
It is. It used to be a member of Realm of the Mist. They broke off on their own, and they seem to be doing extremely well. So I'm proud of them. I am absolutely proud of them.
We
So
appreciate that.
let them know
Chris, and I will pass that on.
Yep, let them know we gave a shout out. Well, right
I'll
on.
be right back, guys.
All right. Well,
Gotta go over there.
while we're doing that, we got
Keep talking.
Zepper. We got Zepper's into what he's most looking forward to. Let's go ahead and go over to Chris. Chris, what are you most looking forward to delving into this world and these characters?
Finding out what it's all about. Don't really know a whole lot about it. I'm just going to jump in blind. I'll listen to that last episode and see what the conclusion to everything was. But in Xavier's mind, everybody is following him or staying out of his way. One of the two.
What are you most looking forward to? Like I said, the battle mechanics, the exploration of a world that's never been seen before, character interactions, story arc. What's most appealing to you right now? To you as a player.
Well, seeing how the seeing how the DM just moves everything through the story itself and through a world that hasn't actually been seen. Those are always cool to see how they develop.
Right on. Well, it's going to be the same question to everybody. So the next one, let's go ahead and go to Yui.
Really? Couldn't even say my name right. I'm going to be the bitch of this, aren't I?
Well, I mean, we lost Billy Knowles. We got to have somebody.
And you got that dragon blood, so I mean, like, it was default you.
But no, Yue, to you.
Well, like I said earlier, I don't have much experience with D&D. It's something I've always wanted to get into, just never had the opportunity. So I'm actually just excited for everything about this. Obviously, the idea of doing this over podcast format like what we're doing right now is definitely going to be interesting. So I'm curious to see how everything will work out for this. But just everything about it, the combat, the interaction, the story. I mean, anything that Anvil comes up with is automatically going to be one hell of a fever pitch dream. So it's going to be a good time, I think.
He's not wrong.
I am personally excited to see what Anvil does with this world. Like I'm really looking forward. One of my favorite things from the first season was the character interactions. Just as much as the battles and the story arc was entertaining and intriguing. Some of my favorite scenarios, like I was describing earlier, was like interactions between Melwood and Ferran, or interactions between and Billy, and that damn huge book. Like I love
exactly the scene I was thinking of.
You know, like my favorite scenes. My favorite scenes were literally us playing the characters and interacting with each other. You know, some of the things that pop out in my head, like the one line that still pops out in my head, and you guys will hear it if you listen to the final episode, was one of the last words that came out of Billy Knowles' mouth. Wait, we're the bad guy? Like, just the genuine shit. And he said those words was just like, you know, to me, it got me excited. It's like, this to me, like, getting back out of Ferran's role, being a listener, it made me feel like this is a real world. This is the world that these characters live in. And the stakes of it were justified to them. So I thoroughly enjoyed the character interactions from season 1, and I'm extremely looking forward to seeing the personalities and character interactions and the evolution of those character interactions going forward in this season. But now,
as I recall, the full line was, wait, are we the bad guys?
Yeah. And again, it's because of a story.
Because that was the full line, and then Ferran recharged the dragon, and Billy tried to cast sleep, and it did not.
Oh my God! Even that was hilarious. When Ferran going to try to kill Billy's idea is, I'm gonna cast Ferran, a drunken Ferran, no less. Sleep, forgetting that sleep spell work on Elven descent. So he put like around Ferran, completely to sleep, and Ferran just looks at him. I'm a fucking elf, you fucking racist bastard.
Nice.
That one was good.
Oh my God. It was a drow, and for some reason Zep didn't realize that drow are still elves, which means they're immune to sleep.
Well, because Billy wasn't a half elf from that universe. Billy was a human in a half elf body from another universe.
Right. So
he didn't necessarily know all the rules.
To which prompted some old lady into, they've got the plan. Started the whole entire riot. It's something I do miss, that I think I'm going to miss this whole entire season, though. I think I'm going to miss the Bloody Crow. I would love to see a cameo appearance.
Yeah,
of the
his
Crow.
obsession with the plague was kind of...
Because that character...
ODM.
Yes, Anvil. You still got to answer the question. I mean, if there was any character from season 1 I hope will make at least a cameo appearance, would be the Blooded Crow. He was such a unique character.
I just realized that I was muted.
Oh, there you go.
He might make a cameo if it's something that you guys really want to see. I can find a way to work that in.
But
So, like I said, I'm a big Winging It fan. So if you guys want to see something, let me know. I can work just about anything in because it's very open ended.
right on. Now, Yue,
All right then.
you were going to ask a question, I think.
No, I was saying ODM is in. This is something that maybe he can, hint, nudge, throw into the season 2 for you.
Okay. And the final thing that I'll throw out there for everybody involved is what's that?
The Blighted Crow becomes our Cabbage Man. The Blighted Crow becomes our Cabbage Man. The plague!
She
Every
turned
episode.
she turned me into a newt. Turned you into a newt. Well, I got better. Actually, thinking about it, Ferran would miss the Blighted Crow. Actually, thinking about it, Ferran would miss the Blighted Crow. He kept stealing all his medicines.
Ooh, okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that's how you wound up drunk.
Especially with our healer being as interesting as it sounds. I think we're gonna need all the medicine we can get.
I think once the party knows how Xavier is, I think most of us are going to be very conservatively in battle because none of us want to be healed by him.
Hey! I'm a very versatile character. I can harm enemies, heal allies, harm allies, heal enemies.
All in the same
And
role.
at the tavern.
All in the same role. By the way, the Lone Drow does have a policy: no magic, and no bards.
And no parts. Billy excluded.
But I think moving forward, I'm also curious to see how Chronicles will affect Four Corners, because Four Corners was originally designed to be the offshoot of Chronicles to be played during the off season of The Lost Realm, and it was meant to mirror or parallel what happens in the realm. New DM, new world, new characters. Obviously, Four Corners a reboot when it comes back, which, by the way, I DM, so Anvil, you could have a chance to play. So
I might take you up on that.
so
I'm gonna finish getting this character sheet together. How do you feel about like a level 70 character?
no. No, because that means I gotta
There is such thing as overkill.
think of it like
and level 20 is just before mythical.
think of
Well,
it
I was
like
thinking
Fallout 76
level 20
right now.
Barbar,
Think
level
of,
20 Barbar, level 20 Paladin, level 20 Wizard, level 20 Fighter, level 20 Ranger.
well, the reason I say no is think of it from this aspect of you and Zep playing Fallout 76 with me and my buddy over in Wales. If we decided to go to something that would challenge us, you guys would be dead just by walking. Having a character like that around everyone else, I have to make a character, which means suicide for everybody else. I'm fine with it, but it suck for everybody else to play.
Fair.
But overall, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see at the end of season 2, may have to go. So that's an interesting.
The end of
thing.
season 2 where what?
Where Four Corners may have to go.
Oh, right.
So that's going to be interesting. I'll be paying attention to your play style to see how it affects for Four Corners. But overall,
Yeah, you're cutting in and out. I think it's because my signal stuff.
Yeah, your signal might be bad because you sound fine to me, and nobody else is saying I'm cutting out, right?
No, you're cutting out for me too.
You were cutting out a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm not to the recording.
You were
so
cutting out a little bit.
I'm not to the recording, so that's at least fine. Well, I guess the final question is if now's the time before season 2 releases in about 2 weeks. Well, episode 1 of season 2. Overall, anything you guys would like to say, not party members in advance, but also the listeners of Chronicles of the Lost Realm, as we lost Am.
Well, he'll probably try to jump back on. He's probably trying to figure out his connection issue.
Right.
I'll start. Thing that I would say to the fans, please be patient with me. Yes, I know I'm going to make a lot of rookie mistakes. Please be patient with me. Thing that I would say to the group, same thing.
There we go.
Please be patient with me. I am going to ask questions to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. And I hope that I provide a great experience for everybody.
All right. Chris.
I'm bound.
I would say
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, no problem. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't wait to jump in and see what the world's got going on and see how everything unfolds for everybody. It'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for everybody to see my take on evil and chaos.
Is your character, are you going to play him as, or do you have a personality, a voice, and everything picked out for him that we're going to get introduced to?
Oh, he has a personality and a voice, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to get a little voice acting. UA, same question because I didn't ask you that. UA?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was directed to me.
Yeah, you as well.
No.
I thought about it when I asked Chris that. It's like, I never asked you that either.
Sorry about that. No, I'm not that talented. I'm not that creative. There won't be any voice to go with my character. I will try to infuse their personality into my gameplay. It's how I do role play. So we'll see how that goes. At this point, everything's up in the air, and I'm making it up as I go along.
Excellent. All right. I keep wanting to say Akla.
there. To answer the Akla.
Akla.
To answer the question of the current line of questioning, yes, this time around there will be a voice. Billy didn't really have one because I couldn't really settle on one for him. But Akla is going to have a voice. Try not to slip out of it when playing as him. But he's going to have a voice. He's going to have distinct personality, and I'm really looking forward to playing him. I think it's going to be the opposite of what I was growing tired of Billy for, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Bringing him in, I'm looking forward to that chaos.
And before we end this off with the DM, I'll go ahead and say, Ferran obviously doesn't have a voice because the way he was designed as father figure, it was just easier to use my own voice. However, that being said, if Ferran ever dies or retires, and I create, from what I learned in episode that we did for Shattered Dawn, I could do a character with a personality and voice. So, future character. What I'm most wanting to say to the fans is, guys, I'm excited to get back to you. I know how much you did the first season. I know how much we were building based to the Chronicles of the Lost Realm story. And I promise you this, guys, we're not done yet, so tune in. It's all on you, sir. Things you want to say to the party or to the fans?
Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this goes. I would give a little bit of advice to the players. Hoard money. Hoard money. Aside from that, expect some interesting characters to reoccurring characters. I've already got a couple people lined up. So
very nice. And on that note, guys, while we go ahead, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You started to laugh. I thought you were done.
I thought I was supposed to do the sign off.
Oh, you can. I was just going to get everybody.
If you can do the sign off, that makes my life easier.
Well, I could do the sign off.
I don't want to do it.
Okay, I'll do the sign off. But before I do, why don't we go ahead and go around the room and let people tell them where you can find these exceptional players and also exceptional podcasters, starting with Mr. Zephyr Zero.
All right, you caught me right as I just got back. So cool. I'm Zephyr Zero. I'm host of Press A Gaming and co-host of Journey to the East on Realm of the Mist. And you can also find me on the returning Chronicles of the Lost Realm. So happy that we're actually getting a season 2 out of this. I almost thought we'd lost it for a second there.
I did. I thought it too.
And pretty much any podcast they wrote me into. I know a certain someone has been trying to get me on What's Your Effin' Binge and My Worst Holiday. And the Sock Drawer has also been trying to get me on an episode as well.
All right.
Name dropping everybody.
That's it. We're giving everybody props and honors tonight. Mr. Rudder.
Yeah, just in time. I'm getting ready to go eat dinner. So you can find me on What's Your Effin' Binge. You can find us on starting today on Apple Podcast, on iTunes, Google Podcast, Radio Public, along with Spotify and Anchor, and
right here on
Instagram,
Realm of the Mist,
Twitter, LinkedIn, and right here on Realm of the Mist.
When he sends me episodes.
Every week, dude.
There you go. And Mr. UA Blackwings.
You can find me on my show, Journey to the East, and co-hosting with Zephyr Zero on Press A Gaming when I'm able to. You can find me as a personality on a lot of Realm of the Mist shows, such as After Hours, on Sock Drawer, anything that Chris here needs me to be on as a punching bag, because God knows he loves to do that.
Only when Anthony ain't on the show. I have fun with Anthony.
That's fair. You can find me on Journey to the East podcast on Facebook. You can find me on Twitch, on PlayStation Network, and on Twitter under the handles Blackwing Roman numeral 13, and you can find quality podcasting.
Yeah, I should really start having Chris put a Discord link for Press A and Journey to the East in the YouTube videos.
Send me the link. Send me the link. I'll add it to the copy and paste the links. I have it written down so that way I could just copy and paste rather than to type everything out every fucking episode that comes out. So send me the link. I'll put it in.
Sounds good.
And speaking of links to put in, the DM, Mr. Anvil, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on usually on Xbox, playing as A the Anvil, O, spaces between all. You can also find me at most Dagger Hero events, under the name, well, not most Dagger Hero events, let me take that back. At many Dagger Hero events, under the name of Anvil. You can also find me here at Realm of the Mist, doing oftentimes cameos in Press A Gaming, hopefully Journey to the East. I haven't heard much about that one yet, UA.
Dude, don't worry about it. Yes, I realize that I deserve that. Trust me, I've got specific episodes I'm going to rope you into.
Excellent. And you'll also find me DMing this throughout the Chronicles of the Lost Realm. And I hope you all enjoy.
I hope you remember that this is now your show. So you can promote it as such. This is yours. And of course, guys, you can find me right here playing Ferrante Thonolus on Chronicles of the Lost Realm, and also doing Wild High reviews for Sounds Dicey Gaming. But of course, over at the Realm of the Mist channel, you can find me doing Breaking the Fourth Wall, After Hours, and many, many other different podcasts and shows. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all these shows. Share them out. And if you prefer your podcast in audio, you find Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anch.fm, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Again, guys, thank you very much for joining us for Chronicles of the Lost Realm. The hype is real, guys. Season 2 is coming. 2 weeks away.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Chris, you forgot somebody.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Phoenix. This is pretty much the only place you can find me, as I'm primarily a mom and a crafter. So this is going to be an interesting foray for me into podcasting.
Welcome to the world. She said she wasn't ready yet, so I didn't think I was going to give her an outro. But right on, I'm down to give it to her. And she's sitting there.
I'm standing here with the phone, and she's like mouthing to me, "What am I, chopped liver?"
I'm sorry. You see, this is how I piss off every female co-host, host, panelist, or gamer that we ever have, because I always, okay, they haven't necessarily joined yet, so I'm just going to go our typical routes. It's like, wait a minute, what about me? Fuck, I'm sorry. This is probably why.
You exist?
Not at all. This probably explains why I'm divorced. But all right, guys.
Well, he can't get mad at any of us. He's the one that made the shot.
That is true. That is true. I took it right on the chin too. But right on, guys. Now I lost my momentum. I thought I had a great closer about where see you in the Lost Realm and all that. But now it's, guys. Let's see if I make it to the episode 1 of season 2. I think I've already pissed everybody off.